Hey everybody, welcome back. We're gonna do another roll of pennies, and I love penny roll hunting. It is absolutely my favorite thing. I will also call myself a little neurodivergent, which means that I'm really good at penny roll hunting. I mean, meaning that it's easy for me to focus and easy for me to really dial into what it is that I'm looking at. So here is what we are looking at today. Wow, not a dark coin in sight. Except, well, there's that black one on the very end, but that's not very much. Then we got maybe this one in the center. We're of course looking for our favorites, the ones that we've been collecting. We've been collecting for a long time. Wheat cents, and wheat cents in the wild is is what we're looking for, and let's just get on to it. And we'll also look at for some coins that are doing their looking for errors in coins and the likes of that. We have a two-tiered microscope system, so we're looking at them kind of on the face value first to see what they're looking like. And this one, of course, is in pretty poor shape, but we'll also be able to determine from here on whether or not something we want to look a little closer at. Let's show you an example. It's a 2003. Again, no signs of doubling, but we do have this right at our fingertips to check everything out if we need to. Always check both sides. Always check both sides. You just never know what you're going to find. All right. So guys, for the sake of time and moving along, I'm not even going to bring up the dirty, beat-up coins into the screen. There's just no point. So 2015. Here's a 1985. Let's look at the 85 real quick. Oh, what is that? That is a very interesting crack. Now, is this a die crack? Or is this a loss of patina? Not patina, loss of patina. Loss of the coating on the outside of the coin. All right, 85, I don't see doubling. That is a very odd crack, or very odd. You know what, let's look at that just a touch closer. Just a touch. Guys, that is looking like a scratch to me. So, and we apparently have low power. So, we're going to take 2 seconds. We're going to plug it in. And we are going to continue. Maybe. Oh, and we're unplugged, of course. All right. We'll be back in a second, you guys. All right, guys, and we're back. Gotta love the technical troubles. So 1970 on this one. Let's check it out. Let's put it back in focus. It's a 70D, in fact, actually. That D was hiding in all of that corrosion. That's a large date also, if I'm not mistaken. Nice to find small dates. And again, we're talking about the easiest way is looking for the 0. When you get a 0, that is... I'm sorry. Hold on a second, you guys. 70, I just want to make sure that I'm telling right information. So the 0 is going to be sitting lower behind the 7 rather than on top of the 7. So you see there's almost like a gap between the 9 and the 0. And in the small dates, this is usually lower and they are connected together. But it's copper. So in it goes. All right. Oh, we have a 2009. Oh, okay, guys. So 2009, of course, is special because it's Lincoln Anniversary Cent. What are we going to have on the back? Oh, look at this, you guys. So this, I believe, is the one to the third. The third of 4 coins. I believe that this is, I forget the names. Shame on me. I'll have to put a little note next to me for next time. But exciting, man. I don't usually get these at all. Much less in a really reasonable condition. So, score. Score. All right. Next one. All right. 2003 with a little damage on it. 72. Get some more spot damage, but for the ha-has, let's take a look. Again, there's that 2. The 2 that is that more thin kind of cursive-y 2 that we look for in small dates. I don't see nothing about this. FG is there, so into the copper container you go. Oh my gosh, this is horrible. All right, so this is an 82. So let's just check the weight and see if it goes in our copper pile or not. Nope, this is a 2.6. And that is a zinc penny. And that is not what we want to keep. All right, looks the same for this one. This one is beat on up. 60 something. A 60 swipe. It actually looks like a 9. 1969. But just beat the heck, my goodness. But it is copper. So, in we go. We got a 2015. I don't see any kind of blurry or any kind of something that's going to lead me to believe that we should take too much of a look at that. Here's a 78. And again for the 78. Nope. No kind of, those are fat letters. But I don't see anything indicative in God We Trust. Yeah, this just might be what it is. Just another circulated old coin. That is interesting right there, though. Look at that E. All right, well, if we're doubling on this side, there'll be more than just one single spot. There's an interesting space on the top of the N. Yeah, guys. This could just be damage. Post-minting damage. But again, it's a 70s, so in we go. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, everybody. Some big old hands that like to get knocked around everywhere. All right. Moving on. It's a 23, so let's again look for the V. No extra V on the VDB. 2013. That's kind of beat, isn't it? A 99. That is a 99. A&M-R. Touching. Womp womp. 2016. That's a pretty... It's almost like an orangey color than a red color. But I don't see much problems with it. The 2021. that Liberty looking like? No, it was fine. Next one, 1995. No, I'm looking like, looks fine to me. Let's just toss it over one more time. Wow, look at the detail on this coin. This is pretty impressive, actually. I'll say it. All right. Anyways, moving on. Okay, we got an older coin here, 70s, 1970 on the dot. Again, do you see that high zero? Large cent. Again, when the zero is sitting farther down, I believe that is what a small cent is. Oh, look at the B. Okay, so am I thinking that this is an error coin? No, I don't think so. But what I'd like to do is show you really quickly this B. Oh, look at the E as well. I don't know, maybe this is a possible. I don't know, it's so smashed down. Anyways, so my thought is, guys, when I'm looking at errors and such and things like that, I'm looking for basically lines over the edges, so you can see where the rounded parts of the B are and kind of sticking out, or even the left side of the B, maybe even more so. You can see that fading line that goes kind of along the side of it. You can even see this maybe in the I too. And the E. These are all telltale signs. But again, if this was that, it's so smashed, it's so smoshed, that again, if you could even try and make the justification. Wow, look at that. S is nearly gone. Yeah, so this is just a whole, to be completely honest, this is just like a whole lot of damage. And again, hard to tell errors through lots and lots of damage. But in the copper you go. All right, 2004. 83. So let's give it throw it on the scale. 2.5. That is a definitely not a copper cent. Boy, it's in really good shape though, isn't it? At least the back anyways. Shall we look at it real quick? Nope, I see nothing. All right, moving on. All right, that is nothing. Oh, is this? I think I see a mint mark on this one. Is that a D mint mark? Did I see? Let's take a looker. That is a D. 69D. And I don't see any kind of errors, any kind of doubling on here. Again, let's look at both sides. Okay, now this could just be wear, okay? But look at the bottoms of the C and the E and the N. It almost looks like there is another letter under it. And that's what we're the doubling that we're looking for. We're looking for a letter that's on top of another letter. And it can be wide and it can be super close. It can be just the bottoms. It can just be the south sides of these letters, like it shows right here. You can see this. There's like this little image. It almost looks like a shadow that's under it. Now again, this could be damage, but again, these are the things that we look for. Anything over here? Almost kind of looks like there's something under the O in one. right? It almost looks like it's even cut off a little bit. But again, would I call this an error coin? Probably not. But again, this is the fun of error coins. This is fun. And it's copper. All right. Here's the 81D. That's very obvious. And here we go. Sorry, everyone. Just kind of getting myself back together here. All right. 81D, that is a pretty darn fat D, by the way. Doubled? Eh. I don't see any doubling on the numbers. I don't see any doubling on the Liberty or in God We Trust. So, just interesting. All right. Just want to make sure that I have not moved myself completely out of position here. 81, but that is a copper. All right. 98, looking for the AM wide. That is, unfortunately, we're going to look at it this way. Because again, guys, like this looks like a wide AM, does it not? Sure, you look at it from this position and it looks like a wide AM, but this is the thing. You turn it a little bit on its side and you can see they are touching. When on a wide AM, those two ends are not touching. And they are clearly touching. So, moving on. 83. 2.5 grams. Zinc planchet. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. D4. Ear D4. Extra ear? Nope. Looking like one piece of ear to me. Do we have... Oh, I really hope we have a wheat set. That would be fantastic. 2000. Okay. Wide AM. Close AM. All right. A 78. Copper for sure. No doubling. The 95. Get a quick look. Nope. Just your general 95. That's in pretty decent shape, actually. But 2003, that is a good looking 2003. How about the back? Oh, very, very nice. Look at the detail on this coin. This is fantastic. This actually might be something better than I have in my collection, especially it's an early 2000s. So let's put that to the side and we will check it against my collection at another time. So another 83. Let's see what kind of weight it is. Nope, that is a zinc planchet for sure. $87. I'm not seeing any problems with this either. Just being sure. Looking around the top. All right. Our next is 88. That is a pretty righteous 1988, boy. So here is some interesting rim stuff here. So as you can see, the rim is kind of crushed in. It's even like got a line through it. This means that when it was being punched with a little more extra on just one aspect of the face of the die. Is it an error? Yeah, technically it is an error. But it typically, for it to be of any significant value, it would have to be very obvious and something that we would be able to see very easily. Yeah, you can almost see kind of a wear and tear, but you actually don't see the actual crack that we see under the microscope very well at all. But it's a good looking coin, that's for sure. All right. Next, 2019. That Liberty looks a little blurry to me, and that could be because I need glasses. Oh, again, some more kind of rim stuff coming on here. Kind of see, goes all the way around. Almost looks like it's... That's some interesting stuff right here. It almost looks like it's extra letters. But, again, could also be absolutely nothing at all. So, let's continue on. 1996 with some schmutz on it. Here's a 2015. Not so bad, but again, nothing that's going to be an addition to my collection, which is what I'm definitely looking for. This is me collecting, and I'm glad you guys are here and having fun with me about it, because looking at the different states of coins, looking at understand the histories of all the coins, just really good fun. And again, sharing it with y'all. All right, we got about 10, 12 left to 2005 with some stuff on it. 89. All right, 89. Is this a copper planchette? It is not. It's a pretty good looking 1969. Look at that. This is actually really decent. For this age, this is actually pretty decent. Let's see if it is. No, I don't see any extra lines around on the numbers. Nope. Just your run of the mill. Nope, no significant doubling whatsoever, but into the copper zone. I do know that in my collection I have much better than that, but it was a treat. So this is 91D. It's the floor, 91D. How is this looking? Okay, everybody, so look a little harder. And you will actually see a line on the long side right here. And you'll also find it on the other 9 here. You can even see a little bit of rounding around the D. This would be considered to be a doubled coin. Oh, and you can actually see it on the inside of the 9. On both 9s. Yeah, now is this heavy doubling? No. But did we find a coin that has an error on it? We did. We found an error coin. Yay. Now again, is it all beat up and corroded and a million other things? It sure is. But this is worth saving. This is what we're trying to look for stuff for. So we'll put that in a coin flip. All right, guys, I just got 2 more left. And we will see what it is that we got. That's a pretty beat up 97. And lastly, a 1970. There is a mint mark. What is that? 70D. Again, lots of wear and tear, lots of circulation. Oh, I'm sorry. And one last one. It was sitting right on the edge. It is a 2004. Let's just check it for the ha-has. Oh. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me again. Appreciate your time. Appreciate your watching. And I appreciate you. So come on back and see me another time. Can't wait to spend more time with you. We'll see ya.